Sleepy Hollow. Sleepy Hollow stars Tom Mison, I believe his name is pronounced, as Ichabod Crane. During the American Revolution, Ichabod Crane was fighting on the side of the Americans. He's clearly British, but he was fighting on the side of the Americans. And he was sent by George Washington himself to find the mercenary fighting on the side of the British who was wreaking havoc on the American lines. Finds him, but is mortally wounded by him. In his dying breath, he cuts off this person's head. Of course, this guy winds up being the Headless Horseman. 200 years later, Ichabod Crane awakens in a cave in the wilderness of Sleepy Hollow, and simultaneously, this Headless Horseman awakens as well. Now, at that point, Ichabod encounters the other main character of the story, a woman by the name of Abby Mills, played by Nicole Beharie. Abby is a deputy sheriff in the town of Sleepy Hollow who, in her youth, had some sort of supernatural encounter that she can't explain and has been ridiculed for it for most of her life. She has turned her life around and become a sheriff's deputy, but now this starts happening. And since she's a witness to all of this weirdness, now she's at the center of another controversy involving the supernatural. On the one hand, she doesn't want to be ridiculed as the crazy person again, but on the other hand, she's the only person emotionally equipped to deal with the reality that this really unreal stuff is happening to her again. So, then the story begins to get very, very metaphysical. Essentially, I don't want to give any spoilers away for those of you who haven't seen it, but they find out who the Headless Horseman is and that he's not going to be alone and they are up against something much bigger. It creates a very good setup for an entire series because this series is very well set up to go on. Even if they ever defeat the Headless Horseman for good, there's a lot more story to be had there, which is a very cool way to set it up. Abby has as a mentor the former sheriff, who is, it's not really much of a spoiler to say that he doesn't make it through the first episode, but he's there to guide her. This is a metaphysical story, so there's ghosts and spirits and prophetic dreams and stuff. So he's still around to guide her a little bit, kind of Obi-Wan Kenobi, Star Wars episodes 5, 6, and 7 ish. He's there. So the upside is that it's very well written and very well acted. The story is much better than it could have been. Um, and the downside, such as it is every once in a while they do something to uh for the sake of the fact that it's television. They put someone someplace where they wouldn't be. For example, driving a prisoner around in a car, you put him in the back seat of a police car. You don't put him in the front seat. And they do silly stuff like that just to make the camera work better. And it's very noticeable that that's not what really happens. Um, just minor stuff like that. But it's stuff that you will notice watching it. So I had a lot of fun with it. The show has potential to be very, very good. I've seen the first two episodes so far, and I am impressed. I'm gonna give this show, even though there's not that much wrong with it, I'm gonna give the show a, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. Um, I don't really have anything holding it back from 5 stars, but it doesn't really feel 5 stars for me yet. Maybe at the end of one or two or maybe 3 seasons, but for now, we're gonna go with a nice, cautious but optimistic 4 stars.